This quick hit for chapter 10 is dealing with friendships and family relationships, and we're going to go over social exchange theory as well. But I want to start off with the element of friendships. We all have friends. I hope you have friends if you're listening to this. But we can divide our friends into three distinct categories: a friendship of reciprocity, receptivity, and association. So the question becomes, which category do your personal friends fall under? But not only that, which category do you fall under for your friends? So a friendship of reciprocity, you're just very loyal to this particular friend. You would do anything for them. They're equal in terms of their giving and receiving. A good way to think of friendship of reciprocity is this: I would do something for this friend because I know they would do the exact same thing for me. Think of a friendship of reciprocity in this particular light, or in this particular example. If one of my friends who I put into the category of friendship of reciprocity said, Sean, I need you to cancel your class tomorrow and drive me to El Paso for a job interview. My car won't work. The plane tickets are too expensive. Can you please drive me? It's a job interview of a lifetime, knowing full well El Paso is about, 10 hours away, something along those lines. If a friend falls into this particular category, my response would be, sure, yes. And one of the reasons my responses would be, yes, I will do that, is because I know they would do the exact same thing for me. So friendship of reciprocity is all about loyalty. Receptivity, there's just an imbalance there in terms of giving and receiving. There's a primary giver and a primary receiver here. And I think the example given in your book, and the example I'm about to give you now, think of a friendship of receptivity as being your doctor. I would like to think I'm friends with my doctor because he gives me great information that I need to know about my health. But he's the primary giver and I'm the primary receiver. I don't know a lot about medicine, things of that nature. I mean, I Google my symptoms for whenever I'm sick. So he's the primary giver here. I'm the primary receiver. So there's some sort of positive imbalance here as we're both still gaining. I'm gaining medical information. He's gaining me as a patient and therefore my money. And a friendship of association, you just really have no loyalty to this particular person. This is the friend that if they asked you to drive them to El Paso for a job interview, your response would be, no, there's Uber, there's a taxi, there are plane tickets, things of that nature. You're just very friendly to them, you're cordial, but you don't feel loyal to them. You don't feel like you have to drop everything and do something for them. And they might feel differently, which could be one of the downsides of putting a friend in a certain category. You put this friend as a friendship of association, but they think they're friendship of reciprocity. So we might have some sort of disagreement here, or it might make it for awkward situations. So ask yourself, where are your friends and which friendship category are you personally in for your friends? Social exchange theory, this is the reason you stay in some relationships and end or terminate other relationships. Ask yourself if you're currently in a relationship. I know some of you have husbands and wives and girlfriends and boyfriends and things of that nature, but you probably have past relationships that have ended. And the reason is because of this particular theory. In social exchange theory, there's some sort of exchange of resources here. We put in cost and we hope to get back some sort of reward. So the cost you put into a relationship could be your time, your energy, your effort, money. You're giving up your freedom in order to gain some sort of relationship. You might be giving up status to give some sort of relationship. And the whole point of giving up something is so you can gain something in return. Think of social exchange theory like this. If I walk into HEB and I put my products on the conveyor belt and I'm ready to check out, what does HEB want from me? They want my money. So my cost here is giving up my money. And my reward is the goods that I'm walking out of HEB with. This is similar to social exchange theory and how we work relationships. Only you know what cost you are willing to give up for the potential of some sort of reward. And only you know what reward you are aiming for. That's going to be key as we come back to this. So we exchange some sort of resources In this particular theory, we're giving up something in order to gain something. So we think the relationship is satisfying if the rewards are greater than the cost. So we outline what costs we are willing to give up. If we get back in that relationship more than we thought we deserved, or if we get back more than we are bargaining for, or more than we want, then we look at that relationship as, hey, this is a pretty good relationship. I'm not going to end this anytime soon. And that could be a friendship, that could be a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, husband-wife situation, husband-husband, wife-wife, things of that nature. We deem the relationship satisfying if we're continuously getting rewards that are greater than what it is that we wanted to get in the first place. But keep in mind, you're giving up these costs for a possible reward. There's no guarantee that this reward's going to occur. So you're giving up your time, your energy, your effort, your money, things of that nature for a possible reward. There's no something set in stone or put in writing or guarantee that a relationship is going to ever occur. So some of you will continuously put in costs because you see some sort of reward possibly coming. You might have gone on 2, 3, 4, or 5 dates, and you're thinking to yourself, I think they're going to ask me to be their significant other. I think if we do one more date. So you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to put in a little bit more cost because I see it possibly coming. I think I see a light at the end of the tunnel. So we continuously put in cost for some sort of possible reward. We think it might be around the corner, but sometimes we wise up and we say, you know what? I put in too much. I've given up too much of my time, too much of my energy, too much of my effort, and this relationship is too costly for me and I'm not getting the reward that I want, so I'm just going to terminate the relationship. But as I said before, only you know what the reward is. Another prong of social exchange theory is sometimes people in relationships get their reward and then that's all they want. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes people in relationships get their reward, and I'm using air quotes on reward because reward could be anything you deem as success in this relationship. Sometimes they get their reward and that's all they were looking for and that's it. They don't need anything else from you. So they terminate the relationship. Why do they terminate the relationship? Because they have already won what it is that they wanted. When you enter into a relationship, you have to be under this idea. What you think your reward is and what you want your reward is may not necessarily be what the other person deems as a reward as well. So what I'm saying here, sometimes our rewards don't sync up. They don't match. So could you talk about this? Sure, of course. But the question is the other person going to be open and honest with you and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for? So think back to your past relationships, and for some of you, your current relationships, and ask yourself, is what I'm looking for or the reward that I want out of this relationship the same as what he or she wants as well? When I studied this in grad school, this particular theory, one of the hardest parts of this theory was reading the research on victims and how it applied to this theory. When I say victims, I'm talking about abuse victims, mentally abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, things of that nature. And typically victims, abuse victims, it is the male abusing the female in a male-female relationship. And in reading this and researching this was very hard. Some of the stories as to why some of these women stayed in relationships was just very, very tough to read. But sometimes people who are abuse victims in relationships think that the cost or the reward is greater than the cost of leaving. The cost of leaving the relationship or trying to exit the relationship could be death. So they think to themselves, hey, the perceived cost of staying or the reward could be they could change. I still am financially secure. I actually still have a relationship, things of that nature. But sometimes abuse victims wise up. Something causes them to wise up, some sort of event that could occur and they would rethink the entire thing. An event could be, you hit my children. You can hit me all day, but the minute you hit my children, I'm out of here. Another situation was where abuse victims were lying in hospital beds in a coma, and then they just rethought the entire thing. Now, I mentioned earlier, most of this research circles around abuse victims in a male-female relationship where the male was abusing the female. But please, please, please understand this. There is definitely physical abuse in gay and lesbian relationships. The problem is we don't have a lot of research on that just yet. But when we talk about social exchange theory and everything that wraps around social exchange theory, this is dealing with male-female, male-male, and female-female relationships. One of the other parts of this chapter is dealing with your family. I want you to think about this. How many of you have issues talking with your family? Some of you have mentioned this before in some of the discussion boards. Sometimes family can be tough to communicate with. If you watch the TV show Modern Family, these are the couples in Modern Family. First things first, they're all three couples are related. But if you look at each individual couple, you see the couple on the left, Phil and Claire with their three kids. That's the stereotypical American couple, husband, wife, three kids, things of that nature. Then you look at the couple in the middle. We could say they're interracial. We could say one's older than the other. And then there's a stepchild involved with Gloria having her son Manny. And then we have the gay family and the gay relationship. Not only that is becoming more normal here in the United States, but also they've adopted a child, and that child is of a different race. If you watch the TV show Modern Family, if you look at these three couples, to me, in the United States in the year 2017, this is America. This is all three of these are the stereotypical family. So when we look at family, I want you to define family, and this is not the definition in your book, it's something totally different. It's just a self-defined unit made up of any number of persons who live or have lived in relationship with one another over time in a common living space and who are usually, but not always, united by marriage or kinship. What this definition tells us is sometimes we put people in our family who may not be blood related to us. Not only that, self-defined unit, we can essentially make up whoever our family is. I like to tell students, if you take me face to face, you'll hear me tell the story. I have two families, I think. First, I have my blood family, which is my mom, my dad, my sister, my aunts, uncles, cousins, all sorts of relatives on both sides of the family. That's my family. But I also have my UT family. These are people I graduated from UT with. We went to the University of Texas together. We were on the speech team together. Most of them live here in Houston. And think about this. All of us who consider ourselves family from UT. We're not blood related, but we are different races. We are different ethnicities. We are different sexual orientations. If you've seen me, I am not a white person, but my friends from my UT family who are white and have children, their children call me Uncle Sean. And if you were to look at us, we are not blood related whatsoever, but they're still part of my family. So your family can be self-defined, who you want to be your family. I think we all have someone in our family who is not blood related to us, but we consider them to be family. So the 5 types of family, the natural or nuclear family, this phrase is starting to go away. This phrase was built in probably the 1950s, I believe, and it's defined as your stereotypical family: mom, dad, children, dog, cat, living in suburbia. Extended family, that would be your cousins, aunts, uncles. Family of origin, please do not get this confused. Your family of origin is just the family in which you come from. You can determine, or you can decide who that is. And some people say family of origin, isn't that where the family that you were born from? And my response is no. Think about people who are adopted. If you're adopted, you may not know where you come from, so your family of origin could be the adopted family. Blended family, parent A and their children marry parent B and their children. Some of you listening to this might be half brothers, half sisters, step brothers, step sisters. And single parent family. This used to be called single mother family, but recently they've changed it to single parent family. First things first, this is the fastest growing family in the United States today. Single parent family, you're starting to see a lot more dads become single dads. Not only that, you're starting to see a lot more fathers ask for custody in divorce settlements. And we know that the government system that we have here in America favors the mother when it comes to divorces, things of that nature. But you're starting to see a lot more fathers fight for custody of their children and become single fathers as well. Now, Some of you might ask, where do mixed race families come in? And think about it like this. Mixed race families can be any of these, can they not? Not only that, gay families can be any of these as well. So just the family types, ask yourself which family type you come from, and which family type do you come from? That's where I'm going with that. And then finally, family communication patterns. Ask yourself, how many do you talk in your family? Family communication patterns describes conversation and conformity. Conformity means, are you conforming to the values and beliefs that we uphold as a family? Some of you come from consensual families where you have high conversation and high conformity. What this means is we talk about a lot of stuff, and then once we talk about stuff, you should go out and make decisions based upon the values and beliefs of our family. So do you come from a consensual family? We're expected to talk to mom and dad, mom and mom, dad and dad. We're expected to talk about a lot of stuff. And then when decision time comes to make some sort of decision, you're expected to adhere to our family values and beliefs. Pluralistic family, we talk about a lot of stuff, but in the end, you can make your own decision. We may believe as a family this value and this belief, but that doesn't mean you have to adhere to that. You can do whatever it is that you want. However, we want you to be open and honest and talk to us about a lot of stuff. The protective family, very low in conversation, very high in conformity. Low in conversation because they don't want any conflict. They don't want they don't want children to try to go against them. So instead, they just don't talk about anything. However, any decision that needs to be made, you will adhere to our family's values and beliefs, which, by the way, the protective family typically results in high rebellious children. And then the laissez-faire family, they are low in conversation, low in conformity, typically do not have a lot of connection in the family. They're not really connected to mom and dad, or mom and mom, or dad and dad. We don't talk about a lot of stuff, and you can make your own decisions. You don't have to take our values and beliefs into consideration with that. So that's a quick hit for Chapter 10, and I look forward to reading your discussion boards.